Hi, welcome back. I'm glad that you found your way back to our video series on the 10 most common behavioral issues associated with dogs. My name is Cori, and I am the training program coordinator with A Walk in the Park, which is a full-service doggy daycare in Maumee, Ohio. Now, what exactly are inappropriate eliminations? That is our topic for today. And what can you do at home to reduce that or keep that from happening again in the future? Now, remember, if you've watched any of our previous videos, we always say there's no such thing as a bad dog. Okay, so your dog is not intentionally having accidents in the house to upset you because they are bad. There are several reasons why a dog will have an accident inside the house, and we're going to go ahead and explore those, with the first reason most likely being an underlying medical issue. This is the most likely reason if your dog is fully potty trained, rarely ever has accidents inside the house, and uncharacteristically starts having multiple accidents. Probably a UTI or something physical going on rather than behavioral. So be sure to have that checked out first, and if that becomes eliminated, then you could have a behavioral issue, but more than likely it is related to a medical concern that needs to be addressed by your vet. Now, next, the next likely issue is inconsistent potty training, whether as a puppy currently in potty training or as an adult dog that received inconsistent potty training as a puppy. Next, your dog could be experiencing anxiety or overexcitement. Dogs with separation anxiety, which we are going to dive into in a later video. One of those manifestations of separation anxiety is in eliminating inside their crate or something like that. So that could be a reason your dog is having those potty accidents, and if it is related to separation anxiety, that's a whole nother ballgame. So keep your eye out for that video in the future. Sometimes you'll notice that young dogs, especially puppies, will have what we call submissive urination, where if they get excited to see you, they'll kind of flip up onto their back and expose their belly and then kind of start piddling on the floor. Usually it's just a few drops, but they may do it consistently each time they see you. That's something called submissive urination, and that's really common in young dogs, and there's not really a whole lot you can do about it to stop it, but we can give you some advice and suggestions on how to keep that minimized. But do know that it's something that dogs typically grow out of. If you don't see your dog growing out of this behavior by the time they're around a year old, you may want to talk to your vet about what you can do because that may point to a more physical issue. But dogs do typically grow out of submissive urination, so don't be alarmed if your puppy is doing that. Just make sure you've got some cleaning supplies handy. So what are you going to do and not do? Again, our very first do not do is yell at your dog or punish them in any way. Do not rub your dog's nose in their accident. This does not teach them that they should not have an accident in the house. This just creates serious confusion. They don't understand that it's a result of having gone to the bathroom. And honestly, what this may encourage them to do is just get better at hiding it. If they're not able to hold it, that could again point to a medical issue, and it could lead to anxiety if they're not able to eliminate, especially if they've associated going to the bathroom in the house with getting their face rubbed in it. That's going to create more anxiety, and it may encourage your dog to actually hide their eliminations, maybe under your bed or behind the couch or something like that, and you're not finding it, and them receiving the reward of relief when they go in the house because they don't have access to outside is going to encourage them to continue to do that. So rubbing your dog's nose in it does not teach them anything, trust me. What you should do is make sure you're taking your dog outside often. Even if I've had clients express concern over, I've had one client that adopted a dog that did have some potty issues inside, although this dog was kind of adopted off of the street, so they did have some challenges there as far as teaching their dog about not going wherever they need to, whenever. But even when they kind of got the indoor eliminations under control, they still were having trouble with their dog signaling to them when they needed to go outside. And there are a couple of ways that you can kind of do, help them understand that they need to do that, though that's something that kind of comes with time. As you are consistent in taking your dog outside, they will learn to kind of go to the door that they are always taken out of to let you know that they have to go. But even if your dog does not tell you that they need to go outside, that does not mean that they don't need to go. So make sure you're kind of watching the clock and taking your dog out as maybe once an hour, or if you have a young puppy that needs potty training, you're going to be taking your dog out much more frequently. So we're going to dive into potty training here in just a second, but do make sure you're taking your dog outside often, even if they don't tell you that they need to go. They probably still need to go. Now, be consistent with your potty training. Any form of training only works if there's consistency. Okay, so when you're potty training, here are some, kind of the steps you should take in potty training. I do encourage using a crate, especially overnight. So, look into crate training your new puppy so that they are kind of confined to a space during the night and even during nap time, so that when they wake up, they're not eliminating wherever they happen to be after they wake up, and you can catch them when they're waking up and take them straight outside. So crate training is an excellent tool to assist you in potty training. So let's say your dog, your puppy, is waking up maybe in the middle of the night or first thing in the morning if they've reached that point. What you're going to do is you are going to carry your puppy outside. I would encourage you not to let them walk outside unless the crate is very close to the door, because if you gotta go, you gotta go. And they may just stop along the way if they're not being held. So carry your puppy if you can. Very quickly get them outside and encourage them. As soon as their feet hit the grass, they're likely going to eliminate, because they really need to if they've been holding it overnight. Same thing after nap times. Carry your dog or your puppy outside to go to the bathroom if there's been an extended period where they haven't gone. Other times that you are going to take your dog immediately outside is anytime you get done playing. If you've been playing for a little while inside, go outside. Anytime your dog gets finished eating a meal, go directly outside. Anytime in between, I would set a timer for about every 20 minutes, take your dog outside. This is going to keep your dog from feeling the need, letting their bladder get full and feeling the need to eliminate urgently. If you are not working off of a timer and you're not present and your dog goes to the bathroom inside, guess whose fault that is? It's your fault. Sorry to put it that way, but we've talked before about how you can only deal with those behaviors if you're there to see them happening, if you're supervising. So if you see your dog squat to go, you are picking up that puppy and you are dashing outside so that they don't eliminate inside. The use of puppy pads is, they provide at least a little bit of a sense of security that they're not going to be damaging your floors or your carpeting if your puppy does have an accident. Although if your dog is being trained to a puppy pad or a litter box, they're still eliminating inside the house. And if that's not something you want to have happen long term, that's not where I would start. That litter box can be a backup in the future. I know some people with small dogs can have had success litter box training similar to a cat. Although most dogs are able to hold their bladder for an entire work day. I really never had any issues with my adult dogs. Now that my dog is geriatric, it's a different situation, but a healthy adult dog should be able to hold their bladder as for a full work day, ideally. So encouraging litter box training, you could be setting yourself up for a little bit of failure there if you haven't started with outdoor potty training to begin with. So don't rely on those puppy pads they're really just a convenience for you as far as cleaning up the mess, but it doesn't really help your dog or your puppy understand that they're supposed to go outside to eliminate. So, have those in case you're not going to be able to supervise, so that you don't have a greater mess to clean up, but don't rely on them as a form of potty training. The best way to do this is to run your dog outside about every 20 minutes when you're home with them and supervising them. Now, let's say you take your dog out when that 20-minute alarm goes off and they do not go to the bathroom. I would suggest that you do not wait another 20 minutes to take them out. I would suggest that you come inside and hook them right up to their leash. Or if your dog is small enough, you can continue to hold them until the point you're going to go back outside and encourage them to eliminate outside. Now, the reason for this is I've had several clients report to me that, they go outside, the dog doesn't go to the bathroom, they come inside, the dog immediately goes to the bathroom. It's not necessarily that they have a preference for eliminating inside, it's just a matter of timing. So if your dog doesn't eliminate outside and you come in, keep them very close to you, like on a leash, right next to you, in your arms, in your lap. Go back outside in 5 minutes time. Don't wait 20 minutes. Go back out in 5 minutes. This can be frustrating because it takes a lot of time and effort on your part, but it is a little bit of what you signed up for when you got a puppy. So if you want, really strong potty training, this is the best way to go about it. It's just making sure you're getting your dog outside as frequently as possible, and be consistent. Also, have an enzymatic cleaner available to clean up accident spots. This enzymatic cleaner is going to eliminate odors that we may not be able to detect, but ones that your dog may be able to detect. And a lot of times when they can smell those leftover odors, it encourages them to eliminate in that same spot again. So if you use an enzymatic cleaner, it's going to eliminate some of those deep down odors that could attract your dog back to that same spot to eliminate, and actually kind of trigger them to continue to eliminate in that spot. So make sure you're thoroughly cleaning those spots. And then lastly, give lots of praise to your dog when you're outside. You take your puppy out and they, go to the bathroom, you're going to throw a party right there. That is exactly what you want your dog to be doing. If you've seen some of our previous videos about reinforcing behaviors we want to continue to see, you have to reward those. You have to make a concerted effort to really drive that point home to your dog that that's what they're supposed to be doing. Get happy, clap your hands, shout yay. Don't scare your dog though. That's not any good. But, throw a party right there for your dog, a little potty party, and do that every time so that when they go outside, they know that's what they're supposed to be doing. All right. So if you have any questions about potty training, please give us a call at our facility at 419-475-4101. You can also reach me directly at 419-930-6229. You can email me at training@awitp.net. We'll see you next time. Thanks a lot. Bye.